Welcome to this weekly show, the Teenage Mutant Fight Club podcast, where we journey into the wild tales of teen heroes and underdog outcasts. From the world of flash fiction. We're going to do it in a fun, entertaining way, like those blockbuster action films.
Yeah, like we're right there in the middle of the action.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Get ready for some truly captivating stories. Today, you've brought us two action-packed flash fiction stories, and they're both centered around these, extraordinary young protectors.
Kids defending their homes, but not in the way you'd expect.
Right. The first one, Thunderbolt Cadets, introduces us to these, children wielding the power of Zeus.
Whoa, Zeus.
Yeah.
Talk about powerful.
Yeah. And they're going up against a whole horde of titans on this secluded mountaintop.
Sounds intense. And what about the second story?
Okay, so the second story, the Lunar Sentinels, this one features siblings, and get this, they're descended from Artemis. They use lunar archery and even get help from these forest creatures.
Wow, forest creatures. That's so cool. So they're fighting like a shadowy beast.
Yeah, right in their woodland home. It's pretty awesome. So our mission on this journey, right, it's to unpack how these seemingly ordinary kids rise to face, truly mythic threats.
So it's not just about, raw power, right?
Exactly. It's about ingenuity and courage, too, how they use their smarts and bravery to overcome these, crazy obstacles.
I love that.
Yeah.
So we're looking at how they use their unique abilities and their environment to their advantage.
You got it. And what's so fascinating is how these two very distinct flash fiction stories, one is all about thunder and titans, very epic. And then the other, it's all moonlight and forest magic, right?
Yeah, two totally different vibes.
But they both place these children right at the center of defending their worlds.
That's such an interesting choice, Brian. Why kids? Why not seasoned warriors or powerful wizards?
I know, right? So why do you think this narrative choice of making kids the last line of defense is so powerful in storytelling? What is it about that grabs us?
That's a great question. It really makes you think. I think it's it taps into this idea of hidden potential. These kids, they seem ordinary, but they have this extraordinary strength inside them.
Oh.
And they have to step up when no one else can.
That's a really good point. And maybe it also reminds us of our own childhoods. When we were kids, everything felt so big and scary,
Yeah, totally. Facing your fears, overcoming challenges.
Exactly. And maybe it gives us hope, too. If these kids can face down titans and shadowy beasts, then maybe we can face our own challenges, too.
Absolutely. So should we dive into the first story, Thunderbolt Cadets, and see what we can uncover?
Let's do it. Okay, so in Thunderbolt Cadets, we're dropped right into this secluded mountaintop villa, and instead of a storm, right, which you might expect on a mountaintop.
Yeah, like a big dramatic thunderstorm.
Right. Instead, we get these massive titans showing up, and it immediately sets up this David and Goliath scenario, doesn't it?
Oh, totally. It's this peaceful home versus this huge mythological threat.
Yeah, how are these kids going to stand a chance against these giant titans? It's a classic underdog story right from the start.
It totally is. And then we meet Maya, Ben, and Kai. And their powers, they're not these super flashy, world-shattering abilities at first.
No, they're not.
Maya has a glowing slingshot.
A glowing slingshot.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Ben can control mist, which sounds kind of cool, but...
Yeah, it's not throwing fireballs or anything.
Right. And then Kai, he can whisper to the wind. So it's all kind of subtle at first, isn't it? Their initial resistance.
Yeah, it's almost understated. And so what do you think that tells us about how the story positions the source of their strength? Is it about raw power or is it something else?
I think it's more about their resourcefulness,
Resourcefulness?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not going to overpower these titans with brute force.
Mm-hmm.
They have to be clever.
Oh, I see what you mean. They have to use their power strategically.
Exactly. Maya taking down those titans, right?
Yeah.
The titans were laughing at them.
Yeah. They think it's a joke, right?
Yeah. But she takes them down with a well-aimed shot from her olive wood slingshot.
Which, who would have thought a slingshot could be so powerful, right?
Right. But she makes it work. And I think that element of surprise, the titans underestimating them.
Yeah, they definitely don't see it coming.
Right. I think that gives them that initial advantage.
Yeah, it totally does. It's they're using their smarts and their powers together.
Exactly. And that initial resistance, it really highlights this key idea that even in the face of immense power, these huge titans.
Yeah, they're terrifying.
Right. Strategic thinking and resourcefulness can still create an opening. Ben using his mist to disorient the Titans. Kai using his wind to mess up their advance.
It's not brute force, it's all about strategy and tactics.
Right. It's like they're playing a game of chess with these Titans.
And then we learn about their father, and he's this gentle architect. But there are hints about his past.
Yeah, like he's got this hidden history.
Yeah, and it adds this layer of like normalcy to their lives, and then boom, that normalcy gets completely shattered by this Titan attack. So why do you think the author included this detail about their father wanting them to blend in? You know, this contrast with their current, like, defiance against these Titans.
Good question. I think it creates this really compelling tension, you know? Like, it suggests that maybe they made a deliberate choice to live a quiet life, to hide their lineage, maybe even to protect themselves.
Like their powers are a secret.
Yeah, maybe. So when they choose to fight, it's even more significant. It's like they're embracing their true nature, even though it's dangerous.
Like they're saying, we're not going to hide anymore.
Exactly. They're stepping into their power.
And then the attack escalates so dramatically. Like the Titans, they start ripping up these olive trees and using them as clubs.
It's a pretty brutal image, isn't it?
It is. Like these trees that are probably like centuries old just getting like ripped out of the ground.
Yeah, shows you how strong those Titans are.
Yeah, it does. And just when it seems like, okay, it's over, they're going to lose.
It's like, there's no way they can win.
Right. Anya appears on the roof and she's like conjuring this storm.
Anya, the mysterious fourth sibling.
I know. She's like this secret weapon. And it's so cool how it shifts the dynamic, right?
Yeah, totally. It goes from like this individual defense, each kid trying to hold their own, to this coordinated effort. Like they're working together now.
Like a team.
Exactly.
And Anya's control over the storm, it's interesting, right?
Yeah. What about it?
It's not just like raw power. Like she's not just blasting lightning everywhere. She's directing it, using it strategically.
She's got like precision lightning strikes.
Yeah. So what does that tell us about their training or like their connection to these abilities?
I think it suggests like discipline, you know?
Discipline?
Yeah. Like they've practiced, they've honed their skills. These powers, they're not just something that happened overnight. They've learned to control them.
So it's about practice and control, not just raw talent.
Exactly. And just when you think the storm might be enough to stop those Titans, the story throws another curveball at us.
Yeah.
This ancient altar.
The ancient altar.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me about that.
So this altar, right, it's connected to their grandfather, and it's a source of like this forgotten power. And this is where things get really interesting because now the scope of their defense, it like goes beyond their own abilities.
So it's like the villa itself is helping them fight back.
Yes. It's like the mountain, the land, it's all connected to this ancient power source. And Maya, she taps into that energy to create this huge fissure in the earth.
The earth is literally splitting open.
Yeah, it's amazing. And it swallows up a bunch of those Titans. So what do you think this tells us about the importance of place and heritage in the story?
Well, I think it shows that their power isn't just something they have individually. Like it's tied to their family, their history, this specific place where they live.
It's like their home is part of their power.
Exactly. And that makes their fight even more meaningful, you know? They're not just protecting themselves, they're protecting their legacy, their heritage.
They're protecting everything that came before them.
And everything that will come after them, too. It's pretty powerful. But even with the altar's power, those Titans, they just keep coming. Like they're relentless.
Yeah, those Titans are tough.
And that leads to one of my favorite parts of the story, Ben's illusions.
Oh, yeah, the illusions. That was so cool.
So Ben, he uses his powers to create these, like, giant monstrous projections of themselves.
So it's like they're making themselves look even bigger and scarier than the Titans.
Right. And they also make the villa look like this massive, impenetrable fortress.
Oh, I get it. They're playing on the Titan superstitions.
Exactly. Like, messing with their minds. It's a totally different kind of weapon, isn't it?
It is. It's not about physical strength. It's about using psychology, understanding your enemy's fears and weaknesses.
Like knowing what scares them and using that against them.
Exactly. And it's super effective.
Yeah, it is. And then there's the Titan leader. He's portrayed as this, like, super scarred, cunning figure.
He's like the ultimate bad guy.
Right. And even he is, like, unsettled by what's happening. He can sense that they're up against something more than just some kids with powers.
He's feeling that ancient power.
Yeah, he is. And he retreats, like he's scared. What's the impact of showing this powerful antagonist, this leader of the Titans, being genuinely afraid?
I think it really flips the script,
Mhm.
Like, we expect these big, epic battles of raw power. But here, the Titans are defeated by something they don't understand.
Something ancient and mysterious.
Right. And it shows us that even the most formidable opponents, they can be vulnerable to the unknown.
It's like fear is their ultimate weakness.
Exactly. And then after the fight, it's like, poof, the magic is gone, and they're just kids again, exhausted. Their slingshots are just pieces of wood. The storm is over, and the only evidence of the battle is this, like, giant crack in the earth.
It brings them back down to earth, literally.
Right. It reminds us that they're still children, even though they've just done this incredible thing.
But then there's this moment of realization for Kai. Right.
Yeah, tell me about that.
He sees the connection between the design of the altar and the lightning within him. Like, he's seeing his power reflected in this ancient structure.
It's like a light bulb moment.
It is. It's a shift in their understanding of themselves. Like, they're not just kids messing around with powers anymore. They're connected to this ancient lineage, this legacy of power.
It's like they're finally realizing who they really are.
And they immediately start thinking about the future, about how to upgrade their defenses, rebuild stronger. It shows this incredible resilience, They're not dwelling on what just happened. They're already planning for what's next.
It's like, bring it on. We're ready for whatever comes next.
Exactly. And Anya, she says she doesn't want to just hide on the mountain anymore. She wants to guard it, protect it. It's a complete shift in perspective.
They're not just running away anymore. They're standing their ground.
And then there's that final image of Maya looking at the retreating Titans against the sunset. It's powerful, Like, this isn't the end. It's just the beginning.
It's like a promise of more adventures to come.
Yeah. The world might think that the Age of Gods is over, but for these kids, it's just getting started.
They're the new generation of heroes.
All right, so now let's journey into our second flash fiction story, the Lunar Sentinels. And the atmosphere shifts immediately. Like, from that epic battle with the Titans, we move into this, like, quiet, unsettling forest.
Yeah, it's a different kind of tension, isn't it?
It is, and it starts with this eerie howl. Like, it's not just a wolf or something.
It's something ancient and hungry.
Right, and it's lurking somewhere in their woodland home, so it's like the threat is much more personal this time.
Yeah, it's closer to home.
And then we meet another Maya, but this Maya, she has an arrow made of spun moonlight.
Spun moonlight. That's so cool.
I know, right? Like, how do you even make an arrow out of moonlight?
It's magic.
It is. And it immediately connects her to Artemis, the goddess of the hunt. But it's clear that this isn't just about hunting for food. This is a fight for survival.
Yeah, this is serious business.
It is. So what does this immediate connection to mythology tell us about the nature of their power? This power that comes from Artemis.
I think it shows us that their power is like part of their lineage,
Their lineage.
Yeah, like it's passed down through their family, this connection to Artemis. And it's also tied to this idea of guardianship.
Like they're protectors.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that arrow made of spun moonlight, it's not just a weapon. It's a symbol of that connection.
So it's like a sacred duty they have to uphold.
Exactly. And this Ben is different, too, from the Ben in the first story. He has these eyes that glow with moonfire.
Moonfire, so cool.
I know, right? And he's tracking this shadowy beast, and he has this special connection with an owl that helps him.
The owl gives him, like, insider information, right?
Yeah. Like it can see things that humans can't.
Yeah.
And it tells Ben about the shadow's shape-shifting abilities, and it's like insatiable hunger. It's like they have the whole forest helping them out.
Yeah, it's like they're allies.
It's awesome. So how does this contrast with the defense in Thunderbolt Cadets? Like, they're not alone in this fight, are they?
No, they're not. They're working with nature, with the creatures of the forest. It's like they're part of this, like, magical ecosystem.
Yeah, it's like their powers are connected to the forest itself.
And their parents are completely oblivious. Like, they're off on some temple pilgrimage thinking their kids are safe in this ordinary woodland cottage.
Which is like anything but ordinary.
Right. It's like the secret magical headquarters disguised as a regular home. And it's so cool how it plays with this idea of the mundane and the magical.
Like their classmates would never believe what goes on in that cottage.
Never. So why do you think the author creates this contrast between the parents' perception of their home and the children's reality?
I think it's partly about emphasizing the children's responsibility, Like, they're the ones who know the truth, the ones who have to protect their home.
They're the keepers of the secret.
Exactly. And it also kind of shows how powerful their connection to the moon goddess is. Like it's this secret world that most people can't even see.
A hidden world of magic. I love it.
Me too.
Okay, so the first encounter with the shadow is so interesting. Like, Maya doesn't immediately try to kill it.
Yeah, she does something unexpected.
Yeah. She uses her moonlight arrow to illuminate the shadow, to expose its weakness.
It's like she's using light as a weapon.
Right. It's this classic theme of light versus darkness, but it's used so effectively here. So what does the strategy tell us about Maya? Like, why not just go for the kill?
I think it shows her intelligence, her strategic thinking. Like she wants to understand the enemy before she attacks.
So it's about being smart and careful, not just rushing into danger.
Exactly. And then Ben's connection to the forest comes in handy in a big way.
Tell me about it.
So he uses roots and vines to, like, physically hold the shadow back.
Like the forest is literally fighting alongside them.
Yeah. It's amazing. But then the shadow lets out this powerful roar that shakes the whole forest.
Oh, yeah. That part gets me chills.
Me too. It reminds us that even though they have a forest on their side, this creature is still super dangerous.
They're not out of the woods yet.
Not at all. And then we meet another Anya.
Another Anya. This one's like the queen of resourcefulness.
Tell me what she does.
Okay, so they've turned their cottage into this, like, little fortress, right? And Anya, she uses these jars of fireflies.
Fireflies.
Yeah. Fireflies that they've collected on, like, moonlit nights, and she uses them to disorient the shadow.
Wow, that's so clever.
It is. Like, who would think to use fireflies to fight a monster?
Right. It's so creative. So what do you think this tells us about their character? Like, why do they keep coming up with these unique solutions?
I think it shows their adaptability, you know? Like, they can use whatever they have at their disposal to their advantage. They're not relying on brute force or fancy weapons. They're using their smarts and their creativity.
They're making the most of what they have. I love it.
Me too. And then Ben makes a crucial discovery. He finds the shadow's core.
Ooh, the core. Tell me about it.
So it's this obsidian shard, and it's pulsing with this, like, stolen magic.
Stolen magic. It sounds ominous.
Yeah. And Ben, he connects it to Artemis's history of hunting these kinds of creatures.
So it's like this ancient battle is still going on.
Right. Their fight is suddenly part of this much bigger, older conflict. It adds a whole new layer of depth to the story, you know?
Totally. It raises the stakes.
And then things get really tense because the shadow, it changes tactics.
Uh-oh. What does it do?
It goes after Anya in the cottage.
It's like, if I can't get past the forest, I'll go for the weakest link.
Exactly. And Maya, she takes off running, trying to get back to the cottage before the shadow gets to Anya.
That's so intense.
I know. And she's shooting these starlight arrows as she runs, like trying to distract the shadow.
She's buying time.
Yeah, she is. And it shows how much she cares about her sister. You know, like she's willing to put herself in danger to protect her.
It's a really powerful moment.
It is. So Maya gets to the cottage just in time, but she doesn't hide inside.
Oh, what does she do?
She grabs this ancient hunting horn.
A hunting horn.
Yeah. And it's been, like, sitting there unused for centuries.
Wow, so it's like a relic from the past.
It is. And
Right.
it turns out to be the key to defeating the shadow.
What happens? Tell me everything.
Okay, so Anya, she's the one who blows the horn. And it's this sound that no creature can ignore. Like, it's a call to arms.
I bet the forest went wild.
It did. It was amazing. Like badgers, squirrels, owls, they all came rushing out of the woods to help.
They answered the call.
They did. It's like the whole forest rose up to defend itself.
That's so awesome. And so how did they defeat the shadow?
Okay, so get this. They don't defeat it with brute force. Like, they don't attack it head on.
They use a different strategy.
Yeah. They use teamwork and the element of surprise. Like, the beetles swarm the shadow, obscuring its core.
So they can't see.
Right. And then the squirrels start gnawing on it, and the owl swoops in and strikes the obsidian shard.
The shard that was its weakness.
Exactly. It's like this crazy, chaotic battle, but it works.
It's like they outsmart the shadow.
Yeah, they do. And then silence. The shadow lets out this wail and then disappears. Dawn is breaking, and the forest is quiet again like nothing ever happened.
Wow, what a scene.
I know, and Anya is still clutching that horn, you know, like she's just been through this incredible ordeal, and you can see the weight of it on her face.
It's like she's grown up in that one night.
Yeah, she has, and when their parents come home, they're going to have no idea what happened.
Like, oh, honey, how was your night? Did you sleep well?
And Anya will be like, oh, just another night fighting a shadowy beast with the help of the forest creatures.
I bet they wouldn't believe her.
Not a chance.
But they'll never know the truth.
Yeah, it's their little secret. But then there's this moment where Maya finds a single moon-silvered arrowhead amidst all the chaos.
It's like a little reminder of what they went through.
It is. It's a reminder of their victory, their bravery. And it's this small, tangible piece of evidence of this magical battle that no one else will ever know about.
A secret trophy.
Exactly. And then even though they're exhausted, they're already looking ahead to the future.
Yeah. They're not going to just sit around and wait for the next attack.
No way. Ben, he's thinking about swords. Like, he wants to learn how to fight with swords. And Maya, she's holding that arrowhead with this look of determination on her face. They know they're the moon's children, the protectors of the forest.
They're ready for whatever comes next.
They are. So, after this journey into these two amazing flash fiction stories, what stands out to you?
I think even though they're about, like, lightning-wielding kids and moonlit archers, fantastical stuff, they both tap into something really fundamental about what it means to be courageous.
Yeah, like it doesn't matter how old you are or how powerful you are, anyone can be courageous.
Right. And they also show us the power of unity, like how we can overcome even the toughest challenges when we work together.
Mm.
And of course, that fierce desire to protect our homes, the things that are important to us.
Yeah, our families, our communities, our values, it's like that instinct to protect is inside all of us.
It is. And I love how these stories show us that power can come in so many different forms. Like, it's not just about brute force or magic. It can be about resourcefulness, creativity, using your environment to your advantage.
Yeah, like thinking outside the box. And what about the idea of hidden potential? Like, these kids, they discover these amazing abilities they didn't even know they had.
Yeah, that's what really sticks with me. Like, it makes you wonder what incredible strengths might be lying dormant inside us, waiting to be awakened.
Ooh, that's a great question. Like, what titans or shadows might we face in our own lives? And what unexpected resources might we find within ourselves or our communities to face them?
Exactly. These stories encourage us to look beyond the obvious, to recognize the power in resourcefulness, connection, and the places we call home.
So what's the takeaway for our listeners?
Don't underestimate the power of your own potential.
Yeah, and remember, you're not alone. There's strength in unity, and there's magic to be found in the most unexpected places. We hope this journey into these flash fiction stories has inspired you to think about your own resilience and the extraordinary that can be found in the ordinary.
Let's face those challenges head on.
Join us next time for another captivating exploration here on the Teenage Mutant Fight Club podcast.